Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rider Ramblings. It's mizzling. It's not quite drizzle. It's a bit too light for that. It's somewhere in between mist and drizzle. So it's mizzling, which is unfortunate. I was looking at the long-range weather forecast, and they basically said we're going to get this foul weather until the end of January, which didn't impress me. They did think it was going to get a little bit colder in a couple of weeks' time, but not much colder, not a great deal colder. Just more wet, and then a short dry spell in between, and then more wet, and then a short dry spell, and then more wet. And they seem to think that we're going to be warmer for the next 10 days. I mean, this can of course change at any point because it is a long-range forecast, so it's not very accurate on that. Never mind. It's these things are sent to try us, aren't they? Right, it's another quick bimble. I sometimes watch random, well, not quite random, but things on YouTube that I'm not subscribed to do with motorcycles. And one of the people I do sometimes watch is a chap called Yamaha. Now, he can be a bit of an idiot, and I'm being kind, but he's got a very good business sense. He has. I think he's got a degree in economics or something. So, but that's not what I want to talk about. As I say, he can be a bit of an idiot at times. For example, a few years ago, and this is one of the famous videos on YouTube, he actually, that's clever, he actually ran into the front of a Porsche on his motorbike, doing quite a high speed, and launched himself probably about 20 feet in the air. The video is on YouTube for you to have a look at if you want. But that's not what I want to talk about Yamaha about. He decided, what his channel is usually to do with people who have just come back into motorcycling or something like that, or who are new riders in America. He does cover other parts of the world, and he does do his research. He does. I better move forward because you can guarantee somebody will pull around that corner and not stop. So anyhow, he does do his research. Anyhow, he did a thing about riding in traffic, and if this is something you don't usually do, ride in traffic, then I would suggest you watch this if you're going to be riding in traffic. Of course, most of you probably do, but never mind. Anyhow, and it was quite interesting, but I felt he actually missed out one very important thing, subject, point, item, whatever you want to call it. And I think possibly the reason he missed it out was because it's actually a very difficult subject to discuss, especially on a video. I'm going to try and give you a brief rundown. And the item was observation. And this to me is probably the best thing for riding in traffic, is observation. And it's probably the hardest to teach. And it just takes a lot of practice, because you're already fighting with the controls. You've got holes in the road, manhole covers, this type of thing, junctions, traffic lights, birds, dogs, people, cyclists, you name it. And on top of all of that, you've then got to start looking at what the traffic is actually doing, and what the pedestrians are doing, and what the road is doing, as well as actually trying to avoid it all. Which this is probably one of the reasons why you get a few ers and ums from me, and pregnant pauses, as they say, because I will be spending more time doing my observation, and that will prevent me from... Sorry, that wasn't observation, that was the sleeping policeman that was a bit vicious. Yes, so I will be doing my observation and concentrating on that. And as I say, it's one of the most difficult things to learn. I was quite lucky. I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I was taught to ride by a police traffic officer, motorcycle traffic officer. I was not in the police. I was not in the services or anything like that. Just so happened that he was my instructor when I wanted to learn to ride motorcycles. And one of the things that he did was he said, okay, you've got to pass your test, and I've got to teach you how to pass your test. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to teach you how to survive. Because passing your test is one thing, but I don't want I don't want to be called out to scrape you off the road, at a later date. So he spent quite a lot of time actually discussing all of this and showing us the types of things to look for and that type of thing. But the problem is, it's fine being shown what to look for. I mean, if you look at this road here, you can see in the centre, down the centre line, there's mud, which is one of the reasons why I'm not on the centre line. But when you're actually riding the bike, you've got to actually spend the time looking at the vehicles as well. So that was today's, where I'm going to go today. I shall go down here, I think. I have to give way here, even though I can get away with it. Yep. So that was today's rider ramblings. Oh, that's where I wanted to go. I thought they would have opened it by now. Route Barre deviation. I know there was a big flood down there before Christmas, actually. I would have thought they'd fixed it by now. Never mind. Now, I could pull up in between the vehicles here, but one of the things that happens is the people in this lane, even though they're not supposed to, will turn right. And the way the grey car is in front, if you look, you'll see that his front wheel is turned. So guess where he went? That's why I didn't filter to the front, because I thought he would do that. Simply because I saw the position of his front wheel. So that's what I'm talking about observation. Anyhow, I do hope you enjoyed the festivities, that you didn't drink too much, and if you did, that you're over it, and I will speak to you next time.